Hey, I just started that. So Larry just like, yeah. I was going to say, sure. East Tennessee. Voice it down. Oh, I had to replace a, well, I guess there's a match. Something central where all of them were flustered. Well, what happened? Yeah. Thinking. Yeah. Individual, the rifle starter, that was one of the side. It's just a car. Yeah, I like the glass.
Good morning. Welcome to the December 15th, 2023 Peace Officer Standard and Training Commission Committee meeting. Has everybody had a chance to look over the agenda? I would like to make an addition to the end of the agenda for approval. We would do it add just before public comments to set officers' elections. We vote and set officers' elections this month, and that way they'll be set and ready to go for them. Any discussion on that?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve and second on the amended agenda. Any other further discussion? Second was Commissioner Russell. Yep. If not, all in favor of the agenda indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. Moving on to administrative matters.
Start with the roll call this morning. Commissioner Beverly.
Present.
Commissioner Carter.
Here.
Commissioner Cherry. Commissioner Green.
Here.
Commissioner Halsey.
Here.
Commissioner Isbell.
Present.
Commissioner Jackson.
Here.
Commissioner Jeffers.
Here.
Commissioner Russell.
Here.
Commissioner Spangler.
Here.
Commissioner Wagoner.
Here.
Commissioner Wright. Vice Chair Faulkner. Chairman Parton.
Here.
Sir, you have a quorum.
Thank you. And if we would go to the disclaimer, sir.
Certainly. All post commissioners have previously agreed to recuse themselves from any vote that would constitute a conflict of interest. The most obvious of these would include issues that involve our own departments or some that they know personally. Because we've already agreed to do this, it should be noted that on routine matters, it will be assumed non-verbally that these commissioners have abstained from that vote. In bigger, more controversial issues that may have a more overt conflict of interest that may have an appearance of impropriety, those applicable commissioners will still verbally abstain from those votes.
Thank you. Everybody had a chance to review November meeting minutes. Any additions or corrections that need to be made to those? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Beverly motion to approve.
Beverly to hear second. Second, Senator Jackson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the minutes indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, minutes carried. Moving on to report of Decertification Committee.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll begin with the cases that we heard yesterday, the Decker Police Department and Justin T. Cook. There was a motion to approve for decertification, and that motion carried and was voted on by the informal committee. We have the Memphis Police Department and Carl Craig, and the Memphis Police Department requested to withdraw the decertification request. The informal committee voted in favor of the Memphis Police Department's request to withdraw. Raul Perez, the Memphis Police Department. Again, the Memphis Police Department requested to withdraw the request for decertification, and that was approved by the informal committee. Mount Juliet Police Department, Franklin DeRiggi. There was a motion to put that particular case into suspended status until all of the court process is completed. And he also, Mr. DeRiggi, also agreed to sign a voluntary surrender or suspension of his post-certification until all of that was completed. Tennessee Department of Safety, Anthony P. Jackson. There was a motion for no action. It passed. And Tennessee Department of Safety, Abel King. There was a motion to decertify, and it was approved for him. We have a lot of others that were on the agenda yesterday, so I apologize. You're going to hear my voice quite a bit here. We had several cases that were continued to a future month. Colin Berryhill of the Memphis Police Department, Demetrius Walker of the Memphis Police Department, Patrick Hubbard of the Tennessee Department of Safety, and Tyler Milliken of the Tullahoma Police Department. The following officers were all the informal committee voted to decertify by default for failure to appear in front of the informal committee. We'll begin with the Henderson County Sheriff's Office, James Lawson, Benjamin Dessalines of the Chattanooga Police Department, Sharquan Henderson of the Dyersburg Police Department, David Kelso of the Fayette County Sheriff's Office, James Martin of the Hendersonville Police Department, Eric Matthews of the Hendersonville Police Department, Michael Moon of the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, Stephen Wright of the Lookout Mountain Police Department, Alexis Granger of the Memphis Police Department, Byron Johnson of the Memphis Police Department, Eric Kelly of the Memphis Police Department, Travis Pride of the Memphis Police Department, Vernon Sumner of the Memphis Police Department, Michael Tippett of the Memphis Police Department, Bria Wilder Cochran of the Memphis Police Department, Aaron Harrison of the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department, Devin Wheeler of the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department, Thomas Bradwell of the Shelby County Sheriff's Office, Ilya Blazin of the Tennessee Department of Safety, Mike Hill of the Tennessee Department of Safety, Michael Riley of the Tennessee Department of Safety, Chadwick Sanders of the Tennessee Department of Safety, Anna Joel Sullivan of the Tennessee Department of Safety, and Jacoby Wright of the University of Memphis Department of Public Safety.
Thank you, Mr. Director. Is that question, Mr. Biller?
Mr. Wright, did he submit the surrender paperwork? So that wouldn't technically be a default.
Correct. And in fact, I think probably just take that up on new business. That'd be all right.
Yes, sir.
At the end, well, closer to the end.
Any other comments or discussion on yesterday's decertification here? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve all that was mentioned in the record. Motion to approve. Have a motion to approve by Commissioner Spangler.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Green. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Moving on, appearing before the Commission for Waivers of Reemployment, Chattanooga Police Department.
The Chattanooga Police Department requests a criminal waiver for Jeremy Chad Yates, hired July 8, 2016. In December 2021, Mr. Yates was charged with driving under the influence in Hamilton County, Tennessee. In November of 2022, Mr. Yates pled guilty and was convicted of the charge. Mr. Yates has since satisfied all court-ordered sentencing fines and fees.
Thank you. The representative of Chattanooga Police Department, come forward and identify yourself for the record, please.
Executive Chief Jerome Howard, Chattanooga Police.
Good morning, and can you go over your pre-employment investigation that you've had on Mr. Yates?
Okay, the incident happened on December 2nd, 2021. He was arrested for DUI. As he was arrested for DUI, he admitted to, we ended up doing an investigation. He admitted to
Sir, can you turn your microphone on?
I need to speak more into it.
Thank you.
No,
That's great, right there.
oh, my fault. In the end, we on completing the investigation, we ended up giving him 1 year modified duty, 1 year lost city vehicle, 160 hours without pay. Then he also had court where he pled guilty, where he got 48 hours. He had to have a license on his car for 365. He paid fines and did DUI school.
Okay. Did he formerly work for y'all before? I mean,
No, he worked for fire department. He had relatives that did work for the city before.
okay,
There's other Yates that have worked for the police department.
okay, so he's not been in law enforcement.
No.
Okay,
Yours. Well, he's currently employed. I mean, what do you mean? He's worked for us presently.
okay. What's he doing right now?
He's working modified duty, working at the Family Justice Center, working on domestic violence reports.
Okay. Questions on the board?
Is Mr. Yates here? Could he come to the podium? Sir, it says you were involved in a motor vehicle accident. How bad were the other people injured?
He had suspected minor injuries. He was sent from the hospital that evening.
What was your blood alcohol?
It was 0.2. It was 0.26.
Did you give the officers any problems at all?
Yes.
That's all I've got.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
A question.
Commissioner Holden?
Just to make sure I understand this, you were employed by the Chattanooga Police Department when you got arrested?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Commissioner Russell?
Commissioner Russell, when did you come off probation?
My probation was over November the 14th this year.
That's what I was thinking. For me, I don't know how everybody else feels. For me, I just can't go for it just simply because it's so recent and I just don't think there's enough time to went by, but whatever happens, good luck to whatever you do.
Sir.
I'm going to ask another question. This is your second DUI, the one in December, right?
No, sir.
You weren't arrested before?
I was arrested for a suspected DUI probably 20-something years ago. Yes. But I was on my private property and stuff.
But you were still drunk driving?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Commissioner Bearwood?
Maybe I'm looking at the criminal history. It says there was a charge on September 27th of 2005 for DUI in Lafayette, Georgia with the state patrol. And then it looks again in 11/29 of 06. It's a second cycle for driving under the influence on 11/29 of 06. Are those two different instances or what exactly is going on with those two?
Yes, I believe there were two different instances.
Commissioner Wagner?
What was your age of all this, time of the incidents, all three?
The most recent one, I was 44. The previous ones, I was in my early 20s.
Any further? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to disapprove.
Have a motion to disapprove.
Russell, second.
Russell second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none on the motion, all in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Well, good luck. Thank you. Moving on, Portland Police Department.
Portland Police Department requests a criminal waiver for Brian Lee Boney, hired December 4th, 2023. In May of 1995, Mr. Boney was charged with aggravated assault in Okeechobee, Florida. In November of 1995, Mr. Boney was convicted of a reduced misdemeanor assault charge. Mr. Boney has since satisfied all court-ordered sentencing fines and fees.
Thank you. Representative for Portland Police Department. You can identify yourself for the record, please.
Jason Williams, Chief of Police for the City of Portland, Tennessee.
Good morning, sir. Can you explain to the commission what you found out in your pre-employment investigation?
Yes, during the pre-employment investigation, we discovered that Mr. Boney had been arrested in May of 1995 when he was a juvenile for a charge of aggravated assault. Was charged as an adult. The results of that criminal case were it was reduced to a misdemeanor assault charge. We also discovered that Mr. Boney has previously been certified in two other states, Oklahoma in 2012, North Dakota in 2019.
And you said this was done when he was at the age of 15 and it was adjudicated, is that right, up to adult court?
That's correct.
But then it was sent back down to a misdemeanor assault only.
Correct. It was reduced to misdemeanor assault.
I was just curious that something at 15 that got adjudicated up to adult court.
That's my question as well. What were the circumstances that would have bumped that to adult court?
You'd like to speak to Mr. Bowman about that?
Sure, please, come over.
Morning,
Or can you identify yourself, please?
Brian Bowman.
Nice to meet you, Brian. Can you tell us what circumstances were that at the age of 15 you had a serious enough charge to be adjudicated?
Honestly, I could not tell you why they decided that they were going to try me as an adult for that.
Well, I was saying here, I was playing with a gun and spinning it around on my finger like John Wayne when Oregon had never used it in a threatening manner. So it's something to do with a gun.
Yes, sir.
So tell us what happened.
Being pretty much homeless, not having a good environment to live in. Excuse me. Pretty misdirected as a juvenile. Did a lot of bad things as a juvenile, a lot of fights, stuff like that. I got in trouble a lot at school. I had a friend's revolver that I was carrying around with me just to carry it around. Being a child of the John Wayne era, I was just wheeling her around. The girl that I was dating at the time grabbed the gun and pulled it to her and said that I tried to shoot her with a gun. I had no ammo with a gun. At that time, the very next day, I was picked up by two detectives at the Okeechobee County Sheriff's Office. Took to the sheriff's office, and without having a lawyer or my parents present, they questioned me and decided to charge me with it.
Okay, so nobody was ever shot or hurt?
No, sir.
It was just clowning around with it, spinning a gun around.
Quite honestly, for lack of better terms, I was being stupid.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was scrolling through here to make sure nobody was actually shot or injured. And did you say you were living on hard times at that age?
I grew up in a rough environment as a kid. Drug and alcohol was pretty big thing in my home environment. And at the time, I was actually living on the streets.
Yeah. How old are you now?
I'm 44.
Okay. Any military or anything like that?
No, sir. I've done a couple of stints of contracting with the Department of Defense and Department of State as a security contractor. That requires getting a top secret security clearance. With them, I've also been employed with two agencies in Oklahoma and one agency in North Dakota as a peace officer.
Okay.
Question.
Go ahead, Mr. Wagner, Commissioner Wagner.
Wagner, are you still certified by any of those agencies in other states?
I could be certified back in Oklahoma if I went and did my mental health hours and firearms qualification, which obviously I've not. In North Dakota, I believe my certification is still active. I am not for sure on that.
Okay, you haven't been decertified in the other state?
No, sir. I've never been decertified as part of any kind of action.
You passed their background before they did.
Yes, sir.
How long has it been since you were off?
I left law enforcement in 21 and went contracting back to Iraq for the Department of State.
And when did you come back?
November of last year. I was actually getting set to, I know you didn't ask this question, but I was getting set to deploy again when Portland Police Department contacted me and asked me if I was interested in the job.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Holmes.
Where in Oklahoma? What two agencies?
Canadian County Sheriff's Office, the El Reno Police Department.
Anybody else?
Commissioner.
Commissioner Isbell.
So tell us the terms in which you left those two agencies, and also were there any disciplinary actions or issues in your personnel file from those two law enforcement agencies?
No disciplinary actions whatsoever. I've had a pretty exemplary record with them during any reviews, anything like that. I was always marked highly as far as being the guy on the scene that can maintain calm in a stressful situation. I left all of my agencies on good standing. Never forced out. I left on my own terms.
And Chief, you've confirmed that through your background investigation, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's all.
Commissioner Carter.
Commissioner Carter, just be clear that I heard you right. Did you say that the weapon was not loaded?
No, sir. There was no ammunition with the.
Okay, so there's no intent there.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Representative Russell, motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve.
Second.
The second is, any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck here in Tennessee.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Warren County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The Warren County Sheriff's Office requests a criminal waiver for Frederick Franco Jr., who will be hired March 1, 2024. November 2018, Mr. Franco was charged with criminal trespassing in Warren County, Tennessee. January 2019, Mr. Franco pled guilty and was convicted of the charge. Mr. Franco has since satisfied all court-ordered sentencing fines and fees.
Warren County, could you come to the podium, please, and identify yourself for the record?
Yes, sir. I'm Mark Martin, Chief Deputy of Warren County Sheriff's Office. Like was stated, we're requesting a waiver for Mr. Franco so that he can attend the academy. He has worked for us inside our jail for approximately a year. Has been a great employee, hard worker. And when we did our background, he was arrested when he was in high school with some juveniles. They were 17, he was 18, and they was with him on some property that they probably shouldn't have been, and got confronted by the landowner and ultimately arrested. He did his community service, and that was pretty much.
Legal, did we ever make a determination of this? Is this something that was supposed to be waived?
This is looking under the rules under Chapter 9. This would be outside the category requiring a waiver. So,
Okay. Well,
unless it were additional.
Yeah. Chief, we appreciate your department and Deputy Franco's disclosure of this.
Yes, sir.
And sorry for the trip down, but this technically doesn't meet the requirement, but we appreciate the disclosure. Is any discussion or questions from the board members? Commissioner Russell.
Do I need to make a motion or somebody to make a motion to take no action then?
That would, or we can approve. However, it's in good standing.
I think we need to
Approve the waiver, yes.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to second. Have a second by Commissioner Wagner. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations. Thank you, sir. Be careful going home. All right, moving on. Waiver to attend another academy, Ripley Police Department.
The Ripley Police Department requests a waiver to change academies for Candace Dawn Hardy, hired March 19, 2023. July 2023, Ms. Hardy attended the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy, but did not complete due to academic failure. Ripley Police Department is requesting the waiver so that she may attend the Memphis Police Department Training Academy in January of 24.
Is anybody represented from Ripley Police Department this morning?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Lieutenant Lynn Gould.
Thank you, sir. Can you, do you have any information to provide the board on any particulars dealing with Ms. Hardy?
Yes, sir. We are extremely shorthanded, as is many people in the state. We have 5 openings right now. We have 1 officer deployed. We have 2 officers who will be attending Toledo in January, and we're just trying to get her through the first available academy we can get her through, and that would be the Memphis Police Department Regional Academy in January.
Okay, questions of the board?
Jeffers.
You're recognized, sir.
So according to the paperwork, it says reason for not graduating, injured, but could not complete the obstacle course. But on the other end here, it was due to academic failure. So is that, we counting that as one and the same, or because when I think academic failure, I think somebody failing an actual written test?
Do we know for sure, was it academic failure or was it from physical failure?
It was the obstacle course. She passed everything. It's just she was a few seconds short on the obstacle.
So it's physically failing an obstacle course instead of academic.
I think Director Bello, is that?
Well, I mean, as far as I know, that's just a physical element of the academy that would consider an academic.
Okay.
You know,
I'm just making sure because make sure the paperwork.
yes, sir.
Any other questions?
Policy motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve, have a second by Commissioner Russell. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ripley. Moving on to page 4 of the agenda, Tennessee Highway Patrol.
Tennessee Highway Patrol requests a waiver to change academies for Jack Douglas Apgar, hired December 1, 2023 and May of 2016. Mr. Apgar attended the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department Training Academy, but did not complete due to family circumstances. Tennessee Highway Patrol is requesting the waiver so that he may attend their academy in December of 23.
Okay, anybody representing Highway Patrol today?
Good morning, Commission. Captain Shane Stafford, Director of Training for the Tennessee Highway Patrol.
Yeah, good morning. Can you give the board a little detailed information, if you have it available, about this situation?
Sir, if the commission would allow, I've got Mr. Apgar with me and I'd allow him to explain the circumstances.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I apologize. Go ahead, sir.
I was just going to say, if you could explain to the board just a little history of what happened to change academies.
Yes, sir. And I apologize for my voice. I'm currently losing my voice, but I'll try my best to speak clearly. Last month, I attended a commission meeting. I had a criminal charge that was expunged. Due to those circumstances, I resigned from the Metro Nashville Police Department Academy. I was in the lateral academy from a prior agency, and I resigned and went to the meeting last month, and that charge was expunged, and we're at this point.
Okay. I'm reading here in the docket that you left Metro Nashville Police Department. Did not complete that academy due to some family circumstances. Is that you or somebody else?
Sir, that's me.
Okay, what was your family circumstance?
I'm going to assume when I signed out of HR, they put the reasons under family reasons. I'm not really sure about those circumstances, but the reason that I resigned was due to a criminal charge, which I had to have expunged, which was expunged.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any questions of the board?
Mr. Chairman,
You're recognized, Commissioner Wagner.
Did we have him before?
Yes, so he came before the informal subcommittee last month in November. Metro Nashville had initially submitted it for decertification and then withdrew the request based on the fact that the charges were dismissed and expunged from his record. So last month, we had voted to take no action because Metro Nashville withdrew the request for decertification.
What? Was he certified before?
No, sir. He was still at the academy when this incident happened. And then he got charged and he withdrew from the academy.
So it's hard to decertify somebody that's never been certified. Is that the way I'm looking at that?
Well, the commission can also deny an application for certification. So it's kind of that same.
And now that the Department of Safety wants to try to employ.
Correct.
Correct. Okay. Got a little confused there. It's not hard to do with me.
Mr. Apgar, this is Commissioner Green.
What was the initial charge that you had expunged?
It was assault, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Chair will make a motion to approve.
Policy so moved.
Second by Commissioner Mosley. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Good luck, sir.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Walter State Law Enforcement Training Academy.
The Walter State Law Enforcement Training Academy requests a waiver to change academies for Alexander Wayne McCoy. In May of 2022, Mr. McCoy attended the Knox County Sheriff's Office Law Enforcement Training Academy, but did not complete due to voluntarily withdrawing. Walter State Law Enforcement Training Academy is requesting the waiver so that he may attend the academy in January of 2024.
Okay, thank you. Is anybody representing Walter State this morning?
Good morning, Director Stansel here from Walter State Regional Law Enforcement Training Academy.
Good morning. Do you have any information to provide to the board this morning?
I believe if you would allow, I think Mr. McCoy is on here as well.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Can you go over with the board a little bit of why you're asking for this request?
Yes, sir. At the time, whenever I attended Knox County's training academy, I was sent through the department that I currently work at. And at the time I was married and my wife was pregnant with my daughter. After a few days of being gone through the academy, she wasn't very excited about me leaving in the first place, and me being gone ended up causing some more issues, especially given the pregnancy. And at the time, I decided it would have been the best thing for my family for me to withdraw and be home with my family while my wife was pregnant.
Okay. How's she going to feel moving forward this time around?
I have since been divorced.
Okay, I guess that's not going to affect her any from here on. Any questions of the board? You're recognized, Commissioner Russell.
Commissioner Russell, Mr. McCoy, are you working for an agency now?
Yes, sir. I work for the Claiborne County Sheriff's Department.
And where was you working before, whenever you first went to the academy?
I was still working at the Claiborne County Sheriff's Department when I went to Knox County.
Very good. I wish you well.
Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Spanger?
Yes, just want a transparency. I'm not familiar with the individual, so I don't think it make a difference in how I vote. That's just make it.
Duly noted. Anybody else?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve by Commissioner Green. Have a second by Commissioner Jackson. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Waivers of basic training, specialized substitution for in-service training.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, and members of the commission, you'll see that there are 18 names that our team administratively reviewed and approved for meeting the requirements to attend post-transition school.
Chair will make a motion to approve all names attached except for Coffee County. Be abstaining.
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Russell. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Moving over, skip page 5. Moving over to page 6, we do not have any administrative waivers of in-service, none. Waivers of the 6-month rule looks like all good police department.
The Allgood Police Department requests a 6-month waiver for Matthew Cole Hunter, hired April 26, 2023. In October of 2023, Mr. Hunter attended the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy, but did not complete due to a medical issue. The Allgood Police Department is requesting the waiver to continue evaluating Mr. Hunter's performance in the FTO program before recommitting him to an academy.
Any questions or comments on this situation? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a second. Commissioner Russell, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Trousdale County Sheriff's Office.
Trousdale County Sheriff's Office requests a 6-month waiver for David John Colburn, hired September 6, 2023. Mr. Colburn was scheduled to attend the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy in January of 24, but has been unable to begin training due to class availability. Mr. Colburn is scheduled to begin training at Toledo in March of 2024.
Any questions or comments? Spangler approved. Spangler has a motion to approve.
Halsey second.
Halsey has a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Moving on, page 7 of the docket, waivers of the 8-month rule, none. No medical waivers this month. Waivers for military leave, none this month. I believe that's the longest stint we've gone a long time without any of those. Page 8, applications for training officer.
The post investigators reviewed and approved 4 applications for training officers. They meet the criteria for approval. You'll see those listed here. There's also 3 officers listed down at the bottom that will be required to complete instructor development or an approved substitute within 1 year if this is approved.
Thank you. Chair makes a motion to approve attached names: Brown, Patterson, Thomas, Odell. And then on down, Brown, Odell, and Thomas. Any questions or comments? Second by Spangler. Have a second by Spangler. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Moving on to page 9 of the docket.
Applications for certified instructor. Our post investigators have reviewed and approved 9 applications for certified law enforcement instructors. You'll see those names listed. None will require 1 year to complete instructor development. However, you will see 4 officers listed at the bottom that are requiring a 1-year waiver, requesting and requiring a waiver of the 1-year training officer requirement.
Any questions or comments of attached names to the docket? Hearing none, motion by the chair to approve.
Beverly, second.
Have a second by Beverly. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Moving over to page 10, curriculum and test.
Post investigators have reviewed and approved 66 in-service and specialized training classes this month. They either meet or exceed the minimum standards set forth by the post rules, and notations have been made if those courses are sufficient for meeting the mandatory training requirements as well.
Thank you, Mr. Director. Any questions or comments? Entertain a motion to approve. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Green. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Any old business? Don't see any old business. New business items for discussion. Grundy County Sheriff's Office.
Grundy County Sheriff's Office, the commission needs to determine action for incomplete reemployment files of officers who are no longer employed by the agency or were eligible to receive the salary supplement for the 2022 calendar. We see here that there's 2 names listed. Brandon Leslie Defendahl was hired September 15, 2022, separated June 5th, 2023. Paperwork was received by post from Grundy County Sheriff's Office on September 18th. 2023, Mr. Defendahl completed 88 hours of in-service training for the 2022 calendar year while employed with the Cannon County Sheriff's Office. For Arcadis, Mr. Defendahl is currently employed with the Alexandria Police Department as of March 10, 2023. And Grant Ashley Voss hired approximately September 19, 2022 and separated March 26, 2023. Paperwork was received by post from the Grundy County Sheriff's Office on September 18, 2023, Mr. Voss completed 41 hours of in-service training for the 2022 calendar year while employed with the Cannon County Sheriff's Office. For Arcadis, Mr. Voss is currently employed with the Mount Eagle Police Department as of March 28, 2023.
Thank you. Are these 2 officers current at are they up to speed with what they need to be at their current agencies?
Yes, so the issue is that we didn't have any pre-employment paperwork while they were employed at Grundy County. And they were left off the salary supplement roster from Grundy County in 2022. And I know it's a matter that's been brought up before. It's just a matter of whether or not the board wants to pay them out of this year's budget when it should have been paid out of last year's budget due to the agency just not submitting it to us like they should have.
Okay. Chair makes a motion to approve both names.
Second.
That was second by Commissioner Green. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, if I could just offer some guidance to the commission. So right now on this particular agenda, we've got 3 officers that are up for receiving a salary supplement in 2022. And I want us to be cautious because I think we set precedent with this. And if a larger agency that we pay out hundreds of thousands of dollars to, or maybe over $1 million to a year, which we have some of those agencies, were to have to come back in a new fiscal year and ask for salary supplement to be paid to their officers, then that would put us in a really tricky situation because we would then not have enough money out of this year's budget to pay the officers from a previous budget. So I know it's tough to, and y'all have I think it's a tough decision to make here with that, but I think the hard part is telling somebody that the state is not going to send that money out to the department to pay them, but the local department, in this case, Grundy County, made errors in their paperwork. Grundy County should be, in my opinion, should be responsible for paying that salary supplement to those officers, not the state out of this current budget. But, obviously we'll defer to the commission, and we are only talking about 3 people here. So that's a grand total of $2,400. I can do that math in my head. But, if we get into a larger department, that could really throw our budget out of whack.
Mr. Director, what's our statutory power to, I would totally agree with you on what you just said, that Grundy County ought to suck this up. But what powers do we have to order them to do that, other than us, the state, not paying it?
I would defer to legal on that.
Take a look under Chapter 8. Chairman, I can tell you that off the top of my head, I don't know of any, but
It would have to file suit. These officers would have to file suit to the county. The $800.
presumably so, yes.
And one other thing to mention as well, every full-time law enforcement officer in the state of Tennessee has access to the ACADIS portal. They can request access. They don't have to have permission from their department to request ACADIS access. The officers individually can have access to see in the portal what their status is and what department they're with, and also the training that they've completed in that year. So, I think some of this does, fall on the department, but I think there's a smaller part of that does fall on the individual officer. There are methods that they can have to go onto ACADIS and go ask their department, hey, why am I not on the roster? Why is it still showing me at my previous department, or why is it showing me as inactive?
Well, that may be true, but I don't want some of my deputies playing around with cases because they'll have themselves accidentally bleeded.
Well, right. And so just to clarify on that point, and that's a very good point, Sheriff, they only have access to view their own personal records.
Yes,
not to view their records. They can't. No, they can't get on there and like
they would have themselves deleted out of the total existence by accident.
I have a question.
Yes, sir, Director.
Chairman, what would keep any agency from not paying 50% of their officers and using the money for something else, and then these officers come ask folks to pay them because their department didn't?
I think that there's a line item in each county and municipality, a special line item that is recognized. I think there's a checks and balance when finance transfers that money over. It's in there by audit. So it's designated funds that are set aside there. I don't think they can, if I'm understanding your question correctly.
But Grundy County just didn't pay it.
Well, they weren't on the roster. They wasn't on the roster.
They didn't submit it.
They didn't submit it to their names to the
I
state.
understand. Okay, thank you.
Recognize Commissioner Webb.
A lot of times, these officers, I don't know circumstances, I do know the agency, and they moved on. And I guess they went to the next agency. If they did that, that agency should register. But apparently that didn't happen. Is that right, Bill? Are any of them actively employed?
Yes,
They're both actively employed, but they didn't actively become actively employed until March of this calendar year.
So they finished. Should have got to 8. Didn't
they had their 8 for 2022, which made them qualify. And so the cutoff is December 31st of the calendar year. So December 31st, they were still employed and should have been reported by Grundy County. Or even if they weren't employed by Grundy County in December, they were eligible and should have been reported by Grundy
I
County.
guess my point is, the agency has a commitment to report them. They can't report themselves, right?
Right, and we had gone down to Grundy County and pointed that out, that these folks need to be listed. We were told that they were part-time, and that's why they were not listed eligible.
Sounds to me like it wasn't their fault.
No, it wasn't the officer's fault at all. Yeah, it was just reporting by the agency.
Mr. Chair.
You're recognized, sir.
I guess talking about the precedent of this, and forgive me, I don't join this commission earlier this year. How often are we dealing with this type of issue?
In the years I've been on here, it's not very often.
And I feel like we have a pretty good way of keeping it under control. I think.
Yeah, we've never had a, so to speak, I mean, Memphis Police Department is one of our largest departments in the state. We've never had a mass. I mean, this is the most I've ever done it once since I've been on the board.
This way, we did have one agency that didn't pay the whole agency because
Well, it was one agency we didn't pay.
we didn't pay, but the county paid it to the
Yes.
Commissioner Jefferson.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's one of those things that as far as, I mean, I can see both sides of the coin, you know, as far as a county being, you know, liable to wind up taking care of their officer, especially when they wind up making a mistake. But I've also been on the other end of that, you know, when you may try to take it to your administration and there may be an issue and it gets kicked on down the road and, you know, you might be kind of labeling yourself as a troublemaker, you know, because you're kind of raising a little bit of a red flag with an issue. I mean, I can speak that for myself. I mean, on 3 occasions when I was at a sheriff's department, I had to employ the help of the Department of Labor to get something done. So, I mean, I understand. So, I mean, a lot of times people look to us, you know, here at this commission to kind of be that, hey, could you help us out because we're at the end of the rope and we need your help, because most of these men and women ain't gonna be able to afford to file a class action lawsuit and to get drug out. And then, you know, I mean, I think it's up to us to do the right thing and do right by these folks trying to do right by us.
Yes, sir. Duly recognized.
Chair, for me,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Voss was previously employed with our agency, so I would respectfully accuse myself.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Lawrence County Sheriff's Office.
Lawrence County Sheriff's Office requests a 2022 salary supplement be issued for Tasha Lee Kilburn, hired April 15th, 2022. Ms. Kilburn was on medical leave July 14th, 2021 until November 30th, 2021. Ms. Kilburn completed the required in-service training for the 2022 calendar year on December 21, 2022.
Does post staff have comments or issues with it?
As far as I know, she was left off the roster by accident by a previous GDI, and the new GDI caught the mistake and is asking us to fix
it. And we're going to be able to afford to pay this. Motion to approve. Have a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion? Yes. Beverly. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. All right, motion carried. Moving on to page 11 of the document.
We have a post-investigative report on November 29, 2023. Post-investigated a complaint regarding Brandon Keith Patterson. During the post-investigation, it was discovered that Mr. Patterson had not graduated high school and allegedly submitted a fraudulent high school diploma for employment and certification. Go ahead, sir.
You're recognized.
Morning, Investigator Cantrell. So we've received an anonymous complaint about this. The complainant stated that Mr. Patterson had allegedly paid for his diploma on Amazon, which I didn't know was a thing. And I went online and looked, and you can get a diploma from any school you want to off Amazon and have it personalized. Prior to finding that out, I went to the school that's on the diploma. They couldn't find him in Power School with the database that they use for Hamilton County Department of Education. So the lady there sent me to their records department downtown in Chattanooga, and they couldn't find him in their system as ever having graduated, and they couldn't find him in the state list as ever having graduated. So they pulled up his transcripts, and he did actually go to that school. The diploma was actually dated 2008, but he withdrew from that high school September of 2007, and his transcript showed he was actually class of 2009. So based on that and a confirmation letter that I got from the manager at the records division stating that he has never graduated from any high school in the state of Tennessee, I was able to prove that he did in fact submit a forged document.
So is he currently employed at an agency now?
Not here. He used to work for Grundy County during this summer for a short time and then left there. In the complainant told me that he was applying in Catoosa County, Georgia, and I called Catoosa County and two other agencies there and found out which one he actually was applying to, and they said that they had actually disqualified him the day before I called because of criminal history.
Is he still, I guess he's still current with the Tennessee post-license certification?
He is currently certifiable.
So we need to discuss about having his name put on the list for decertification. And I assume, is there anybody that, I mean, we're looking at filing false reports. Is there any criminal charges that somebody wants to seek or look into, or what's your?
Nobody has told me yet that they wanted to file charges on him. I don't know if we would do that.
Well, we most definitely, I would think that we need to look into pulling anything with the state of Tennessee on attached to him.
We did discuss briefly this issue with the DA in the 12th District, and I think there was an issue of statute of limitations, but it hasn't brought to the attention of the DA of that district.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. Commissioner Green, was he ever certified in the state of Tennessee?
He worked for about, I believe, 3 months this summer with Grundy County.
So those documents were submitted to post?
I think he might have been one of the ones that we never got pre-employment on, but it was submitted to post when he applied to Pike PD.
Commissioner Wagner.
You're recognized, briefly.
Is he still currently certified?
So he is inactive, so he would have to be employed full time with a law enforcement agency to be active, but he still is under that 0 to 3 year mark where he doesn't have to do anything to reactivate his certification, but just get hired by a law enforcement agency. So he did work previously for Pikeville PD and then went to Grundy and left Grundy.
Well, I guess he got his certification by falsifying the document.
Correct. He had submitted the falsified document to Pikeville PD when he was initially certified.
So what I'm thinking is if we formally go through the process and channels to decertify this, then his name can go on the national register so that we can save another state like Georgia or Nevada or wherever these people may go to be outlaws.
You need a motion?
I need a motion.
You got it.
Got a motion to move forward for a decertification.
Second.
I have a second, but it is will need to further discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the vote indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Thank you so much. That's so. Have you got a Harvard law degree now?
I feel like it should.
Go on Amazon.
Post meeting and training.
Go ahead. About a week ago, I sent out to all the members of the commission a slide deck on open meetings and open records. As part of that, I'd asked that you all review it verbally before today.
And if anybody has any questions, certainly you can still email me, but this could be an opportunity if anybody saw something in there that they weren't sure of, or it related both, either to open records or to open meetings. The slide deck was a little more geared toward open meetings, which is what we're doing right now. So it was just as a means sort of refreshing everyone. We have 2 relatively new members within the last year. So we thought it was a good opportunity just to send it out to you for a refresher.
Thank you, sir. Anybody have any questions? All right, thank you. Appreciate that. Did you put that PowerPoint together yourself?
I did not. That was another attorney in the Department of Commerce and Insurance, but I sort of tried to make it as post relevant as I could. So, changed a few words around here and there, and
it was good and it was very relatable. Moving on, we had added to the agenda, it's that time of year. The year is closing out and the new year is going to be beginning.
Sheriff, real quick, if we could, we have a surrender that the legal counsel needs to present to the commission before we get on that. No, no, it was one of those, I think it was slipped in as one of those kind of second additions to the agenda. But
I think we probably could have put it yesterday, but I think in the past, maybe we held it on to new business. But in any event, there was an agreed order to surrender from a former White County Sheriff's Office police officer, White County Sheriff's Office, get it straight and say White County Sheriff's Department. Brandon Young, certification 6887-0846. Mr. Young had been terminated in June of 2020 for disciplinary reasons related to what became later a federal Civil Rights Act violation, sort of garden variety 1983 action, in which he pled guilty, and Mr. Young has moved on to other things, not law enforcement, as have to have the certification voluntarily. So all we would need is just a motion and your signature, like get a motion.
Yes.
Commissioner Spine.
We need to do the same for Officer Wright in Lookout Mountain yesterday.
Yes, if he was on there as well. Yes.
That was for the voluntary.
Right, they're both volunteer.
Commissioner Spangler, I'll have the number. Motion to add those 2 names.
Commissioner Spangler makes a motion to add those 2 names.
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Green. Any further discussion on what legal was presented? All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now I'll get back to the fun part. I'm going to give you the LBJ speech. It is, I do not seek to my nomination to be this chair anymore. So appreciate it. Appreciate the time. 3 years. It's been long enough sitting up here, and it's been an experience for the last 3 years. I don't know that this, in my 30, soon to be 32 years in law enforcement, I don't know that this board has gone through the controversies and the issues in its existence. I appreciate the time that you all put forth for serving to this board because, big paying job. And, but it is a very important job, and we have very important matters before this board, and law enforcement is near and dear to the citizens of this state to keep the peace. And we want good quality law enforcement in this state. And unfortunately, we see topics like we did yesterday. And but anyway, it's time to move on for the new year. And I would like for us to set chair and vice chair today so that whoever comes in next month will be ready to go.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Spangler.
Yes, sir, you're recognized.
I would like to nominate Commissioner Chief Deb Faulkner for chair.
Chief Deb Faulkner for chair. Do I hear any other nominations for chair?
Just because you're not seeking it, would you decline it if you were nominated?
Would I decline it?
Yeah.
Yes, I would decline it.
Just thought I'd throw it out there.
I appreciate that. I think I'm 2 years longer than anybody else. So I think it's time for a new face up here, and I come out there and sit in the well with you. And, but I do appreciate it. It's been an honor. But I think it's time for some fresh blood up here. But we have a nomination to Chief Faulkner. Do we have any other nominations?
Beverly, motion to close nominations.
Have a motion to close nominations. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the nomination indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Chief Faulkner. You've been promoted without being here today. You're recognized, Commissioner.
We have to have a vice chair, so I nominate Gary Carter.
We have a nomination of Commissioner Carter, who is present with us today. Do we hear any more nominations?
Motion to close nomination.
I have well, I didn't know there was a choice except for the current chair. Mr. Carter, would you give us the honor? Would you give us the honor of serving?
I would love the honor to serve.
Thank you. All in favor of Commissioner Gary Carter be vice chair of this board indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, sir. Thank you. Any other matters we need to?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman, not before public comments, but I just want to take just a moment, like I did last year, and recognize our post team. And I'll start with the Assistant Director Bello and the work that he has done over the course of the last 12 months to oversee his team. I want to thank Kat Cooper for the work that you've done. This electronic salary supplement that we did last year, where we submitted, the last week of January, we prepared the first batch, and then the Wednesday of that week, February 1st, sent the first payment request to F&A is unbelievable, because January should just be open envelope month. That's what it always was on, paper salary supplement time. So just commend her on her work. And then our investigators, Bruce and Kevin, y'all have done a fantastic job. And Lakita, you and your team in the office, there was a time about a year ago where if you submitted an application for certification for a law enforcement officer to be hired, it was about a 2 to 3 week turnaround, with leaning on that 3 week end of that before a department got the information back that, hey, your person is approved. And as we stand today, you are very likely to get that application for certification turned around on the same day that you submit it. So, your team in the office has done just an absolutely spectacular job, and my hats are off to y'all. And it's just very humbling to be able to lead such an awesome group of people. Then the instructors too that take on transition school on the post side of the house. But our team that handles the business that this commission sees does an amazing job, and I think they have a great story to tell. But anyway, just thank you all very much for what you do.
I think that deserves a round of applause. They do a very kind job, and we're very fortunate. We were very fortunate to have them here. Even though Ralph used to sit on the board with us, but he said he won't be a full-time man. So, any public comments? I see a commissioner out in the audience. Are you good?
All good.
Okay. Thank you for being here today, Commissioner. Any other comments? Anybody from the public? Anybody out in the hall? Cover that. It's my understanding that we were going to have a rules committee today, but that's going to be continued till further notice.
Yes, sir. So on our informal rules committee, we have obviously Sheriff Parton. We also have Chief Faulkner, and then of course Wagner and Russell are both alternates. But with Deb Faulkner, our new chair, being gone today, I want to make sure that we have representation from the sheriffs and the chiefs, both in that informal rules committee hearing. So I think we're going to look maybe at January or February, depending on the notice that we have to give for that. So anyway, I appreciate the commission's understanding on that.
Yes, sir, Director. Anybody else? You're recognized, Mr. Riddle.
Thank you. Kind of in line with what the director was talking about with staff work. I don't put you on the spot, but do you have the numbers of how many cases that the commission has actually dealt with this year, especially in light of some of the negative press that's been out there for some things, just the volume of work that has come through this commission?
Sure, and let me take a look. So this year, I want to speak especially to those that serve on the informal committee and those that have shown up this year to the informals. In 2022, we heard 34 cases in front of the informal committee. This year, we did 144 informals. And that is really spectacular work. So it's an increase of about 300% plus. Not great with math, so you're gonna have to let me round that off at a pretty easy number. But no, we've in the commission team, the administrative team that goes out on y'all's behalf. Not only are we receiving these decertification requests and the information, the tips or what have you that come in that our investigators then go out and investigate. But we did close to 60 audits. I think it was 57, Ralph, agency audits this year, which is a big number. Just the volume of work that they handle is really spectacular. So this commission, and just like you said, Chairman, we've been through a lot this year with the cases we've heard, and I just hats off to y'all too. Thank y'all for being here, and thank y'all for putting in the work to hear those informal cases.
Thank you.
Anything else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.